Which band took your concert virginity? Blink-182. But technically My Chemical Romance opened the show. Queen. 1982. That sounds like a legendary concert experience. I can imagine a time when people actually lived in the intensity of the moment and didn't hold up their phones to record everything like nowadays, and seeing Queen live must have been electrifying. All American Rejects! Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. I was the coolest fourth grader there. Nickelback sad face. It's cool man. Mine is Insane Clown Posse. We were all young once. That's so much worse LMAO. Elton John in 97. I was 15 and went by myself because no one I knew liked Hi Monsieur. It was awesome. Mine was Elton John too. I was only 5 though and don't remember so well. Weezer. Rush at Maple Leaf Gardens. Not a band, but Professor Green took mine. In the library, with the candlestick. That was Professor Plum, sir. Get a clue. Slipknot. A band out of Canada called Moist. Late 90s stuff. My first concert was Moist. We, myself, my brother, and my mom. I was maybe 16. My brother would have been 13. Saw them at the Calgary Jubilee. I believe. A couple kids from my high school were a row in front. At the other end of the section. It was great. I was teaching English in Montreal in 1999. There was a free show at a place called Parc des Isles. Kinda like Eau Claire. That had live, Moist, Edwin, Serial Joe, and REDCORE. I got so wasted they had to carry me through the metro station to get home lol. Love Moist. Real Big Fish was the headliner in an all-day ska show with a handful of other smaller name bands. I saw Real Big Fish in Sydney in 2003 and it was awesome. Queen in Montreal 1977. Pink Floyd, The Division Bell Tour. Metallica and Avenged Sevenfold, Atlanta, Georgia. Fucking loved every second of it. Tool, Prodigy, Snoop Dogg, Korn, Lollapalooza in the late 90s. Skillet, Tears of Joy. Bro, that's awesome cooking. Actually, Skillet was at my first concert and were the final act for King & Country opened. But they weren't as big as they are now. I remember seeing them at the Creation Festival for years. When I was a kid they were always on the fringe stage and maybe a headline stage early show. I went 10 years ago and they were a headlining act with pyrotechnics and everything. Such a good act too. I'm fucking jealous. Weird Al. Same here. I saw him in 2016 for the Mandatory World Tour. When I was 14, I'll admit, I started crying out of pure joy in the whole, oh my god, he's here. Weird Al is breathing the same air I am. Which concert did you see? What year? Red Hot Chili Peppers. Ozzy Osbourne, The Ultimate Sin Tour. Opening act, Metallica, on the Master of Puppets Tour. Fuck yes, it was glorious. Damn good era for both bands. Queen, Brian May broke a guitar string during one of his solos. Linkin Park, Green Day during the Revolution Radio Tour. Rev Rad is underrated. Rob Zombie, Rush in Phoenix, great concert. Tool, I saw them in 96 at the Salem Armory. Fantastic show. I saw Soundgarden there 6 months later. Gwar, saw Gwar once. It was a sunny hot day at an Ozfest. Gwar came on. Storms rolled in, ended when their set was done. It was like they summoned it or something. It was crazy, man. Did you wear white? No, but I wish I had. That shirt would have been stained forever and been a keepsake. I was like 15 then and didn't know much about them. My older cousin took me. I saw them with Soylent Green, Smashing Pumpkins with Garbage as the opening act. It was the Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness Tour. It was amazing. Pearl Jam, 1998. Eagles, Summer 1976. Roosevelt Stadium, Jersey City. I was 16 and went with some older friends from Long Beach Island. The rule was that you could bring your own drinks to the show, but everything has to be in plastic. No problem. Dash. It was awesome. Joe Walsh had just joined the band, and they played Rocky Mountain Way. Boz Scaggs was the opening band. I was in heaven. I still have the ticket stub. Admission was $8. LBI, I miss that place. Incubus. And it was fucking magnificent. Van Halen. That was one of my first 5 concerts. In the original David Lee Roth days, San Diego, October 1979. Cage the Elephant. They're pretty fucking amazing. Emo. Guns N' Roses. New Kids on the Block, 1991. My older brother and sister went and saw them that year. It was their first concert as well. Metallica in 95 Feet. Outside venue during big thunderstorm that lasted the entire set. Amazing show. Beastie Boys. 14-year-old me saw it a lot that day. No need to bring weed to a Beastie Boys concert. Just inhale. Warped Tour was my first, so it was a bit of a gang bang. Primus. Linkin Park. I drove 8 hours from Charleston to Tampa to see them and then drove 8 hours back right after. And it was totally worth it. Rip Chester. Goo Goo Dolls. 9 Inch Nails. When you still have your concert virginity and are likely to keep it forever. Do you actively want to stay out of concerts, or are you willing to go to one? Oh, I really want to go to one, but I'm poor. Pigeon Plant. Disturbed at the age of 12, and I also learned what a mosh pit was in the same day. Styx. Green Day. It was glorious. Same. Ray Charles at the Grand Ole Opry. I was probably 6 to 7 years old. This was sometime in the mid-1980s. This is incredible. Hope you remember some of it. Roger Waters post Floyd. The Police. 9 Inch Nails. I forget which one was first. But my first 2 concerts I went and saw were Weird Al Yankovic and Bare Naked Ladies Christmas Tour. Both were phenomenal, and honestly I'm not sure any concert I've been to since has lived up to that hype. Iron Maiden. Up the motherfucking Iron's blood brother. Rush 2011 I think. I went to see them with my dad. And a really drunk guy sat next to us and said, "Are you ready to ROOOOOCK?" My dad and I were like, "Yeah, thumbs up." Blues Traveler. Oddly enough, not a fan, but a fun show. Did the hook bring you back? Golf Clap. Totally proud of this one. The Doodle Bops motherfucker. No one can top it, I don't care what you say. Van Halen. Actually Van Hagar. Cremature. The Wiggles. It was amazing. Queen plus Adam Lambert, even though my favorite band is Guns N' Roses. Backstreet Boys. My grandma took me and my cousins when we were all 13 and past that phase, but it was so sweet of her to just surprise us with it, so we went anyway. AC/DC. I went to a show on the Blow Up Your Video tour by myself when I was 14 in 1988. Blink 182. Best day of my life. Even got to high-five Mark Hoppus. Lord Huron. This is the only one I'm jealous of. At the Portland, Oregon Zoo. At sunset. It was epic. Ninja Sex Party. It was Danny, right? Because after all, Brian has an STD. Raffi. Baby Beluga in the Deep Blue Sea. Spouting Whale. Bowie at Radio City, 97. I'm sad that I never got to see Bowie live. Good on you. Insane Clown Posse. Clown face, clown face, clown face. Katy Perry. I was really young and my mom won tickets on the radio. I feel like she'd be fun to see. I loved her halftime show performance. Van Halen at the Offenbach Stadthalle, 1979. I was 10 years old. My dad took my friend and I as a gift. It was a great show. Black Sabbath on their final tour a few years ago. Bob Dylan. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. The Alone and Together tour was the real one. 86. But the Smithereens a few years before was an awesome small indoor show. I was 14 in 86. Met Tom Petty outside his hotel, where my stepfather was stalking Dylan, who was not there. What a wild story. That's awesome. That's so awesome. Fall Out Boy. Judas Priest. What year? Smiley face. DOA. That's awesome. I saw them play an outdoor show about 10 years ago in New York. Still got it. Brooks and Dunn. Poison and Warrant. When I was a wee lad, my folks used to bring me to concerts. Classical, Philharmonic. When I was young. Does that count? First one I went to on my own was the Cars. First one. Shortly thereafter, that blew me away was Judas Priest, with Iron Maiden as the opener. Coldplay. I'll be honest, I cried a little. Which concert tour were you able to go to? I got the chance to see them twice for the Head Full of Dreams tour, but I would kill to see them on the Live 2012 tour. Yup, I think 2012. It was the Milo Xyloto tour and was stunning. I was lucky enough to see the Head Full of Dreams one too. I'd say it was just as good. And now I'm incredibly jealous. MX is probably my favorite album. His YT videos of those concerts give me goosebumps. Just thinking about it does too. I'm sorry. Yeah, MX would definitely be my favorite album if they never made a Rush of Blood to the Head. Seeing Charlie Brown live was better than any drug I've ever tried. I'll be fine living vicariously through those YouTube videos. The energy at their shows is just flat out amazing. Squirrel nut zippers. This gonna be lame, but I'm 34 and it was Tool a few months ago. Sad face. How is that lame? I'd sell State Secrets to Moscow to see Tool live. It was a bloody good show. I'm hoping to see Maynard again with Pucifer if he tours. Gotta start sometime. Bob Seger. The Rolling Stones 1994 Voodoo Lounge Tour. Jars of Clay. I used to have a broken CD case of theirs with the CD missing. Well, now that's a band I haven't thought about in a long time. I got to see them back in like '96 or so with my church youth group. Same here. Creation Festival, Mount Union, PA, 1997. Chicago, 1987. Foreigner with Lou Gramm. Panic at the Disco and Weezer. Depeche Mode, Devotional Tour. My absolute fave band ever. And I've never seen them in concert. Twice. I've had tickets, but stuff happened. Gorillaz. Avril Lavigne back in like 2005. I think she waved at me smiling face. Ozfest with Metallica. Pit tickets at 16 changed my whole perspective on shit lol. Sly and the Family Stone. Black Sabbath, spring of '71. Nice. I've seen them many times but not in the '70s. Where did you see them? The Old Vets Memorial, Columbus, Ohio. AC/DC. I was like 14 and I loved the experience. My ears were ringing for a few hours afterwards, but the fireworks display filled me with an amazing sense of awe. I'm so glad I got to go before they stopped touring. The Oak Ridge Boys at a fair with my grandparents when I was like 8. I learned as I grew older that I'm very much not into that kind of music. Set it off in Simple Plan. Chicago at about age 7-ish in the late 80s. Slayer. Aerosmith. Same. 2005 for me. Stabbing Westward. Linkin Park. One Direction. Much like Priscilla, it was Elvis. When I was 15/16 I went to see Jethro Tull. The opening act was the Romantics. The Romantics sucked hard, but I was there to see Tull. They were actually worse. I mean, they were just effing terrible. I was so pissed I just assumed all concerts sucked like this and didn't go to another concert till I was in my 20s. That was Fishbone and they were in fact amazing. Saw Tull once. Free ticket from a friend. We weren't the only ones that walked out. Aerosmith at a local college. Dropkick Murphys cool. The Hooters. If you're not too young to know who they are, you're old enough to have forgotten who they are. Until I say, and we danced on the wave of the ocean romance. We were liars in love and we danced. Swept away for a moment by chance. And we danced and danced and danced and danced. Well played. I am in fact old enough to have forgotten. The cue worked. I might have to grab that one and toss it into the mix. I actually remembered without the cue. That song was so catchy. Not a band but Elton John. Anthrax, Public Enemy, Primus 1991. I was cool when I was 15 cool. Motley Crue. Backstreet Boys. Not even a band, but a boy band. Oh, the 90s lol. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.